Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. I hope you're having a fantastic day. So, feels crazy to say this, but we are at the end of September, which means that it's time for my monthly empties videos. I feel like this year especially has gone by exceptionally fast. It's kind of blowing my mind that we're already done with September, but here we are. I am going to share my home fragrance empties with you guys today. I have a lot of stuff that I finished up this month, and it makes me really happy. As most of you are aware who have been here for at least a little while, I'm currently on a mission to whittle down my candle collection. I'm specifically focusing on my Homeworx candle collection because that one has gotten kind of out of control over the years. I used to purchase a lot of the Homeworx candles from QVC, and if you're familiar with the way QVC packages them, or the way they are packaged for QVC, I guess you could say, you're getting most of the candles in a set of 2. And in the past, when I've really enjoyed a fragrance from Homeworx, I have bought multiple sets of 2, and that definitely caused that particular collection to get kind of, I would say, a little bit out of hand. So I'm just making a real concerted effort to not purchase multiples of any new fragrances that I am personally buying to review here on my channel. Even if I really love something, I can't be purchasing multiples of it. So I just need to kind of try to balance getting new stuff for my channel and reviewing that, and also basically trying to whittle down this collection that honestly just kind of gives me anxiety. And I do know that I could sell these candles. I have done that in the past. It's not something that I want to get into doing. I had issues with that. Don't need to get into it, but I certainly give a lot away to family and friends as well, so that's helpful. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start diving into what I finished. I certainly went through quite a bit of Homeworx this month, so you'll see a number of those empties, but also some other brands as well. You are going to see some candles. For example, let's just grab this one here that still has wax in it. When you see candles like this, that means that these particular candles either went underneath a candle lamp, which you see a candle lamp right there, or they went into, sorry, I think I have like a pug hair or something in my lip gloss. Yeah, I did. Great. Anyway, or they came out of a candle crock. If you are not familiar with either of these two concepts, I have one video now that explains both to you, kind of, you know, what you have to do for each of those particular candle accessories. I will link that video in the description box down below. I will also list a couple of different candle lamps that work quite well, including this one right here. I just love the look of this one. And then I will link a neutral candle crock. I will link both of those over on Amazon. They're great options to have for candles that are troublesome, like this one was for me. I'll tell you why in a second, but I just wanted to let those of you know who are new here, even though there is still wax left in some of these containers, that doesn't mean that that wax has any fragrance left in it. It typically means that I either crocked or lamped, which is what I call it, that particular candle. Now, once I crock or lamp a candle, I never relight that candle. You especially don't want to do that if you're getting a candle out of a candle crock. You can see here that these wicks are displaced. If I were to light this, 100%, like, this glass would get way too hot. It would probably crack, and then you have not only a mess on your hands, but also obviously a fire hazard. So once you decide to crock or lamp, I just kind of, that candle has lived its life, and that's where it's going to finish. So, all right, we're gonna go right through, gonna give you some final thoughts, whether I would repurchase, whether I would recommend, all of that good stuff. All right, let's get started with the one that I was holding. This is Bath & Body Works Spiced Blackberry Cider. By the way, most of these candles all have an individual review somewhere on my channel. Typically, anytime that I purchase something new or something is sent to me as PR, I always review the candles individually. So you can just go on my main page and just search candle review, the name of the fragrance, and it'll pop up that particular review. So if you want more in-depth information on any of these scents, I'm pretty sure I have reviews of most of them. So the Spiced Blackberry Cider was burning pretty okay until I got to just past the halfway point. And then I got that puny wick syndrome that happens a lot with those like thicker wicks that Bath & Body Works really tends to favor for a lot of their candles as of late. So I put it in the crock in my master bedroom and it did great in there. This amount of wax typically gets me at least a week of 24/7 warming. Once I turn my crocks on, they just stay on until I can no longer smell the fragrance of that candle. And then I turn it off, let the wax harden, and then put another candle in there, usually. All right, so this is my very first A Cheerful Giver empty, and this was the Fragrance Gourmet Sugar Cookie. Now, this is how everything burned down in the end. You can see that one of the sides burned a little bit more wax, but they both extinguished themselves, both of these wicks, when they reached the wick clips. So there's still a little bit of wax in the bottom, but I have to say, while I don't think that I am a Cheerful Giver convert after making my first purchase with them, I can tell you that I am impressed with how clean the burn was, given that this is paraffin. You can see here, it's actually a pretty decent clean burn. I've mentioned before that I just don't really personally care for paraffin. I think that it tends to be a messier burn. I can smell that kind of weird waxy fragrance that's just natural to paraffin wax. So it's just not the ideal wax for me, but I will say a lot of the fragrances that I tried are really wonderful scents. This sugar cookie one, I think, left a little bit to be desired. I definitely wouldn't get that again, but I also have there's like a pumpkin waffles one that's very similar to the Bath & Body Works pumpkin pecan waffles. And that one's burning downstairs right now. And that one is probably the one where I can least smell that like paraffin wax type note. And it just is really delicious. So they have some great scents, but ultimately they're still paraffin candles. I tend to prefer soy wax. So my favorite soy wax formulation is definitely the Kringle. This is their pumpkin waffles, which is another one of those Bath & Body Works pumpkin pecan waffle dupes. I love this one. You can see that I burned her all the way down. A lot of times when I get to the end of these particular Kringle candles, I will put them into a crock just to get a little bit more life out of them. But this one just was doing so well burning that I just burned her all the way down. I will be repurchasing this one for sure. I'm getting ready to place a Kringle order probably within the next like week or two. There's a few things that I want to get in terms of wax melts specifically, but I will get more of that because I would probably actually burn this now until the end of the year. It's just a really nice, cozy pumpkin waffle scent. It's delicious. Love it. All right, we'll save wax melts for last, but here we have a apple crumble, from Bath & Body Works. This was from back in the day when the candles were still $20 each. Seems like eons ago, doesn't it? At any rate, this one kind of futzed out on me when it reached like this point, so went into the crock. Love this scent. If you're looking for something similar, the Spiced Apple Crumb or Spiced Apple Crumble from Homeworx. It's available over at Homeworx.Shop. I'll be listing and linking where you can find all of these candles down below. If there's any discount codes that apply, I'll let you know the discount codes. So if you're interested in picking any of this stuff up, this is not available currently at Bath & Body Works, but I believe Harry actually developed this fragrance when he was at BBW, and his Spiced Apple Crumb or Spiced Apple Crumble, I can't remember if it's a crumb or a crumble, but it's basically the exact same scent. It smells like $1 million. I have that one burning downstairs right now. This is, speaking of Homeworx, this is Homeworx Cinnamon Sugar Marshmallow. This one burned fine. I reviewed this one when it first came out a couple of years ago, or I can't remember if it's been a year or 2 years, but anyway, I do have a review of this. It's a nice kind of just sweet marshmallow scent. Is it anything super crazy impressive? No, but it's delicious. And this one performed a nice solid medium throw, so probably around like 6.5. Not quite a 7 on that one, but not bad. This is my beloved honey pear cider. So this one is gonna look really wild to you because this one lived its entire life from start to finish under this lamp. Now, normally with a lamp, you are going to pour off wax after the top layer that you have melted no longer produces any fragrance for you. You pour off that wax. Well, this light is so powerful that I decided to leave it on one day, and it melted the entire thing. So I got a full melt pool. So I did a little experiment where I just left this lamp on for like a week straight and let this have a complete wax pool. And it smelled so good back here. Did I tell you what this candle is? It's the honey glazed pear from Homeworx. It now smells like nothing. It smells like wax basically. But yeah, you can melt Homeworx candles, not in your Crocs. They obviously don't fit. This lamp, however, melted this entire thing. Now that was leaving it on 24/7. If you're just going to leave it on like either a 4 or an 8-hour like melt session, because there's timers on these, you know, you're gonna be melting more by layers. But the longer that you leave it on, the more wax gets melted, and so it just cranks out that fragrance. I love that scent. I hope it stays in the Homeworx rotation. I really enjoy that one. All right, this is Pumpkin Clove from Bath & Body Works. I don't know why I picked this up because I don't love this one, and I knew I had already reviewed it. Anyway, I just got kind of tired of burning it. It wasn't super strong either, so I decided to go ahead and put it into one of my candle Crocs. It performed a little bit better there, but I don't think that I would buy this particular scent again just because I don't really love the Pumpkin Clove. Like I said, I don't know why I picked that up. I think I got it mostly because I liked the packaging of this one, which is a dumb reason to buy a candle. You should also like the scent. Okay, I like this scent, but this was a really light performer. So I have a second one that I'm going to put away. I do this with a lot of my Homeworx candles. This is the Homeworx Iced Sugar Cookie. This one was incredibly light, and that was super disappointing because I love me a good sugar cookie scent, but I just couldn't get this one to really do much for me in terms of strength and throw. So for me, when I put my Homeworx candles away to sit for like 6 months to an additional year, which, let's face it, I don't think you should have to do that. You should be able to purchase a candle, get it home, and then it should be ready to light, right? But we all know Homeworx has their issues, and I do think that that one will improve. So the backup that I have, I'll burn that probably next year. All right, we have the Perfect Autumn from Bath & Body Works. There's a little bit of spice left in this one. Again, this is another one that futs down on me in terms of the wicks. It just got that puny wick syndrome to where it barely looked like the wicks were lit. So it just wasn't forming a wax pool. So into the Crock it went. It did fine in there for several days. By the way, I have multiple Crocs. I have at least 3 Crocs going at any given time. And then I have about 4, do I have 4 or 5 lamps? Let's say 4 candle lamps as well. And I love using those. They are fabulous. Okay, this is my Blueberry Pumpkin Patch. Now this one I loved when I first reviewed it. It looks a little weird because it was sitting in here. We'll talk about this guy next. But this turned sour on me after the halfway point. I have no idea what happened. I don't know where the sour note came from. But I was burning it and I was like, what stinks in here? And it took me a second to figure it out. And I walked over to this candle and I was like, oh my gosh, it's the Blueberry Pumpkin Patch. How does this smell sour? Something just went off after the halfway point. I love this candle. When I reviewed it, I was like, this is delicious. I see the hype. I see what everyone's been talking about. I want more. So yeah, I don't know. I think 1 or 2 other people also mentioned that they had a similar experience with this one, but it's really too bad because I love the fragrance, but I guess I'm kind of glad I didn't buy anymore. Anyway, this is an example of a candle that, by the way, when I put it in my Crock, that like sour note went away. For some reason, I think it was the interaction of probably the flame with the wax and the oils that caused that off smell, but when I was just warming the wax, that stinky smell went away. I don't know. Anyway, so this is a candle that started and ended its life underneath one of my lamps. I just want to show you guys that the Homeworx candles sometimes don't melt all the way to the edge. You'll be left with just a little bit of wax. So what I do is I just take a knife, just an old knife, and I just scrape that wax down and put it into the center, and then it melts. So for those who are concerned that Homeworx candles like can't fully be melted, like the wax is soft. You can very easily, once you pour some wax off, scrape that down and into the center, and it will melt. So yeah, you can melt Homeworx candles underneath lamps. All right, I finished this Homeworx candle. This is my Holy Grail Harvest Leaves. I love it. I will always repurchase it every single year. This is Autumn Pine Cone. Now this was from a collection back in 2018. This was a trio. Pumpkin Caramel was the second fragrance, and then there was a Harvest Leaves, but in this type of like plaid packaging, just different colors. The Harvest Leaves was red. The caramel, is it caramel pumpkin? I don't remember the name of that one, but it was some kind of like caramel pumpkin type scent. That one was orange, and then the Autumn Pine Cone had like the brown plaid. Anyway, Autumn Pine Cone, somewhat masculine scent, but I actually appreciate that at this point. I used to not really like that fragrance and almost gifted all of those out. I'm glad I decided to keep them because I do actually like the scent now, but it is a lovely kind of more outdoorsy, slightly masculine scent. This is Possessed Plum. This was one of the Halloween releases from Homeworx this year. This one, I really actually like this. It's got some patchouli in it, really nice scent. Definitely more of like that medium strength and throw, which is typical of Homeworx right now. So I still have my fingers crossed that they'll continue to make improvements. Here was a berry pumpkin waffles, which I had a ton of these because once Harry said it was coming back, I just went ham and bought an actual ton of these candles. So a lot of these I'm currently melting because once again, I'm trying to whittle down that collection. I love this scent. It is so delicious. And this one I burned. So there was just, this one burned a little funky at the end. One of the wicks extinguished itself, but then I relit it and I was able to melt that like section anyway. So there's a little bit of wax on the side, but I feel like I got my money's worth out of that one. Ooh, you guys, I have a messy girl here. Okay, this is Yankee Candle Tarte to 10. This is my beef really with paraffin. This is typically what paraffin does for me, is it just gives like that really messy burn. Now I will admit this Tarte to Tan, I did let it go for most times that I burned it probably a lot longer than I should have. Typically I like to limit the burn of my candles to 4 hours or less. Usually around the 3-hour mark I end up blowing things out. This one probably went for 5-6 hours a couple times, and that was the result of doing that. So that being said, I still have one more left. I'm actually thinking about just melting it because honestly, this one was super light. I could barely smell it. So I think I'll get more oomph out of it if I put it in a candle crock. So yeah, these were European exclusives, like the labels on the bottom don't even look like the American labels. But yeah, lovely scent, but not the best burn. That was kind of why I stopped shopping with Yankee back in the day. I am giving Yankee another try, but I want to purchase from in-store. There is a store that is, it's a little bit of a jaunt for me, but I'm gonna make the trek over there at some point in the next couple of weeks because I need some of my cranberry chutney. All right, this is a pumpkin French toast from Country Candle. This was when Country Candle was paraffin. I did opt to just crock this one so you can see that the wicks they're off to either side here. There's no way to relight this one. I do have a video where I share some things that you can do with leftover wax. I will link that down below because sometimes people ask, like, what do you do with all the leftover wax? Sometimes I repurpose it and sometimes it goes in the trash. All right, I love cranberry sauce. This was one of those Homeworx scents that I definitely was like, ugh, I want more of this. I immediately wanted more after I finished it. This smells like a really nice cranberry chutney scent. So this doesn't smell like the tinned cranberry sauce, which I don't like at all. I think it smells and tastes kind of tinny. I've never gotten into it, and I don't like the gelatinous texture of it. I prefer like a fresh cranberry sauce, and it's so easy to make cranberries on your own to just buy the bag. Like it couldn't possibly be easier, and I think it just tastes so much better. I think this tastes more like a real authentic cranberry chutney than like something out of a can. So I loved that. If I find that at like Marshall's, Home Goods, or TJ Maxx, which it has been seen there, I'll probably pick up at least one to have on hand for Thanksgiving this year. But that being said, I am not ordering multiples of it right now, which is what I used to do in the past, but I'm really trying to break that behavior because that's how I ended up with like, there's so many candles in this thing behind me here. There's candles in closets, in multiple rooms of the house, and that's just not acceptable anymore. So gotta change stuff. All right, Palo Santo Pumpkin. Man, this bad boy was popular, and for a reason. This is actually a really great scent. Not a huge Palo Santo person myself, but this one was wonderful. I really liked it. Burn fine. Medium strength and throw. All right, here we have Midnight Moon, which to me smelled somewhat similar to like a Harvest Leaves type scent. It's not a dupe of Bath & Body, not Harvest Leaves, Leaves from Bath & Body Works. Somewhat similar to that vibe, not a dupe or anything. I like this one. I thought it was nice. Now this was a disappointment, not because of like the burn or anything, because that was fine. There was a little bit of extra wax on the side with this one. This is the Sugared Apple Churro. It's a great apple scent, but there's no churro. That's what bothered me about this one. I wanted that bakery aspect to this one, and it just wasn't there. So if you think that you want this because you think it's gonna smell like an apple churro or like an apple cider donut type scent, some kind of fried apple situation, that's not what that is. So that's a huge bummer. Oh, looky here. We have another berry pumpkin waffles. Burn this one. Did fine. I love that scent, man. It's so good. All right, here was a country apple butter that you can see those long wicks. Obviously, I put this one underneath the candle lamp. I didn't bother to scrape those little bits of wax of this on the side down. I could have, but anyway, I reached the end of the fragrance life of this one. This country apple butter was from 2020. Man, pretty jar, right? This like hobnail style. I think this is still one of my favorites. Lovely. All right, we're nearing the end. Let's see if I can do this without having to edit this video. Spiced cranberry toffee from Bath & Body Works. Yum. Man, this was good. I think I have one more left. What? Why haven't they brought this back? This needs to come back. This is rich toffee, fresh cranberries, and swirl of caramel. I don't really like caramel, but I love this. That was an amazing scent. All right, we have another messy girl here. This is the Blackberry Bramble Tea from, what year was it? 2014 at Bath & Body Works. Obviously, I let this one go just a little bit too far, so that was my bad. Okay, here we have Candied Orange from Kringle Candle. Now this one, you can see there's quite a bit of wax left, but no scent left because I put her in the crock. Now, this Candied Orange does have kind of a powdery note to it, maybe like a powdered sugar type note. If you don't think that you're gonna jive with that, I would skip this one. I quite like this. I think I would buy it again in the wax melts. I actually like this one better when it was melting than when it was burning. But I personally liked it burning as well. So anyway, Candied Orange from Kringle Candle. This was new for fall 2023. I hope that scent sticks around. And then we have some wax melts. All right, all right, we have Frightfully Delightful. This is a Disney bar. There should be a couple of these in here. I really did like this, not too spicy, but a nice pumpkin peach spice type scent. Cranberry muffin. This was a bring back my bar. There's probably no point in me talking about this too terribly much, but I did pair it with Happy Birthday, and I love this combination together. So if you happen to have both from the recent bring back my bars and you put them in your club, try pairing those. They're delicious. We have pumpkin cinnamon swirl, which is just a basic pumpkin cinnamon. Nice gourmand. I think that smells delicious. Love it. Would repurchase. Dutch apple bread. I love Dutch apple bread, even though most people don't like it. I think this smells like a spicier, like apple pie type scent. I think people were upset about not getting the bread note in here maybe, but for me, I just really love this fragrance. I thought it was yummy. We have some candied apples from Kringle, and I really liked pairing the candy apples with kettle corn. I think they're out of kettle corn right now, which is a bummer, but I think they still have these wax melts left online. This is a great combination. It basically smells like the fair. So a cube of each in one of my warmers was absolute perfection. Apple cider cake from Kringle Candle. I adore this scent as well. It's a spicier apple scent. I really love this one. Rum raisin cookie. This was a bring back my bar. There's more Happy Birthday. Here is a cran apple crumble. I don't love this scent. I mixed it with something else. I think I mixed that with Happy Birthday too, and it made it much more enjoyable. Here's another Happy Birthday. Here it, sorry, I'm going fast because I'm afraid I'm gonna get cut off and I don't want to edit this video. All right, Johnny Appleseed, a nice fresh like Macintosh apple type scent, yummy. Apple cider cake again. Pumpkin roll. It smells like a pumpkin roll. Delicious. Very, very gourmand. Not too spicy. I love this one. I actually bought the brick. Show you. Another Happy Birthday. Another Frightfully Delightful. Another cran apple crumble. And then a random wildflower cotton. I don't know where this came from. Oh my gosh, you guys, I did it. Okay, before I get cut off, give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Subscribe if you're new. Let me know what you were burning and melting in the comments down below. Check the description box for all the links. I appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.